Are you looking for a preamp to take your recordings to the next level? I might just have the solution for you. Stick around for the video. We're going to talk about it. Hi, I'm Richard Terry. I am your host and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the Warm Audio WA73 EQ, one channel British mic, preamp, and EQ. And this is a clone or replica of the classic Neve 1073 microphone preamp that was on the Neve A88 mixing console that came out, I believe, during the 1970s. And even after 50 years have passed already, this is still one of the most sought after types of preamp and EQ that everyone desires. And so let's talk about this replica of the 1073 or clone of the 1073. Let's turn the power switch on first. Okay, now if you look towards the left, you'll see that we have our XLR microphone input connector, and it is here that you will plug in a condenser microphone, a ribbon microphone, or a dynamic microphone. When I press this plus 48 volt phantom power button right here, you'll see that it's engaged because the red light is on. And what that does is it's going to provide continuous power to a condenser or ribbon microphone that you plug into this microphone XLR input connector right here. So that's what this 48 volt phantom power button is for, to supply continuous power to a condenser microphone or ribbon microphone. And to the right of this 48 volt phantom power button is a polarity switch. And if you had this microphone, if you had a microphone plugged into this XLR input and another microphone that was plugged in somewhere else, what this polarity switch will do is it will combat phase issues, phase problems. So that's what this polarity switch is for, to combat phase issues when two microphones are in close proximity. To the right of the polarity switch is the tone switch, and this tone switch is a very interesting piece. And in my other video, when I do demonstration of this piece through audio sources, you'll see how this tone button affects the audio, the different audio sources. It gives it a nice, it changes it. It gives it a nice, warm, round, musical, kind of this silky, soulful type of sound and boost. That's the only way I can describe it. You would have to hear it to really see what it does. And so in my demonstration video, when I run audio sources through it, you'll get a chance to see exactly what this tone button does. Very, very useful when you want to shape the tone. Gives your sound nice coloration, saturation, harmonics, real warm, saturated sound. This button right here is your line button right here, and what that does is when you press this switch or button, it disconnects the XLR connector that is on the front and the XLR connector that is on the back. And what that allows you to do is there is on the back of this unit, there is a TRS input that you can plug in, a line level source that you can use in this unit. To the right of this line switch is a insert switch, and what this insert switch does when it is pressed or engaged, it allows you to use the insert send and insert return connectors that are on the back of this unit, and it allows you to connect a compressor when you are recording and when you are mixing. So that is a very, very nice feature to have. So you can hook up a compressor to this unit as well. Next is your instrument switch or button. And when this button is pressed or engaged, it allows you to use this instrument connector to plug in a guitar, a keyboard, or a bass, and to be able to record, which is really, really nice. So you have a front in here where you can actually plug in instruments as well and do your recordings. So that is very good to have. Next to this instrument connector is your gain knob. And this gain has a 22 selection feature that allows you to access up to 80 decibels of gain on this unit. And that is a tremendous amount of gain that you can get on this unit. There's not too many units that can give you the amount of gain that this Warm Audio WA73 EQ preamp can give you. And so 80 decibels of gain is more than enough gain to record or mix anything. So even if you had a dynamic microphone plugged into this unit, this 80 decibels of gain is more than enough to power that dynamic microphone. Next to the gain knob is your high pass or low cut filter knob. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to cut out frequencies at or below a specific point. And so you have 50, 80, 160, and I believe this is 3 or 380. It allows you to cut at or below those signals, or cut all those signals at or below that these particular frequencies right here, 50, 80, 160, and I believe that's 380 or 3 or whatever it is. Next to that is your EQ, and I believe it's already pressed in. When you press this EQ button right here, this engages the EQ section of this unit. If you have it deselected, then the EQ is not in the signal path. When you press this EQ button, then you're allowed to use the EQ in the signal path. And this has 3 bands. This has a low frequency band, it has a mid frequency and a high frequency band. The high frequency and the low frequency are shelving bands or EQs, and your mid band is a bell shaped band. And so the low frequency goes from 35 all the way up to 220. And what I mean is these are fixed frequency settings. So this can be all the way off, and you can go to 35 to 60, 110, and I believe that's 220. On the mid frequency band, it goes from 360, 700, 1.6, 3.2, 4.8, and 7.2 kHz. And on the high, it goes from 10, 12 to 16 kHz. And you can cut and boost those frequencies. Next to the EQ button is your output button. And what that allows you to do is to set the output level of the signal that's going out of the unit into your audio interface that you are going to use to record in. And what's nice about this unit, the more you drive the output, the more you work the transformer to give it that nice coloration and saturation, harmonics, nice, warm, wonderful, wonderful sound. And just wonderful features on this particular unit. Next, we'll be taking a look at the back of the unit. What else can I say? It's a great unit. If you really want something that's going to give you a nice, smooth, soulful, warm sound in a preamp, you can't go wrong with the WA73 EQ by Warm Audio. And this is a pretty good company that, makes pretty good products. This is a very sturdy unit, very strong, nothing flimsy about it. It is a very good piece of gear. So if you need a preamp and you are looking for a 1073, Neve 1073 clone, I recommend this piece of gear.